So 4b is, one, the derivative is a little bit funky in one spot. I think the square root of x trips us up a little bit. Two, I think the algebra in finding m, and we might even call it the pre-algebra in finding m, is kind of complicated with square roots and fractions and stuff. But let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to find the tangent line of this thing right here at x equal to 4. So there's three parts that I need, y1, m, and x1. I'm actually already given x1. x1 is equal to 4. So, alright, x1 equal to 4. I need to find y1. I need to find equals what? And then I need to find m equals what? Alright, so I need to fill in those two blanks. y1 isn't too bad. Just need to plug in 1 for x right here. Or sorry, I need to plug in 4 for x right here. So I need to find green. Y of 4 is equal to sine inverse of, well, that's root 4, which is 2 over 4, so it's sine inverse of 1/2. Okay with that. Plug in 2, or plug in 4, square root to get 2 over 4, 1/2. So you need to pull out your chart or whatever you do to figure out sine inverses. And I get that that is pi over 6. So I can fill this part in right here. Now I need to find m, which is the bigger job. So I need to derive that thing up there. Y prime is equal to, I will take the derivative of the innards first. That's this. So the innards, well, that is, the derivative is 1/4. That comes from my coefficient, root x over 4, times the derivative, well, I'm not going to show the work for the derivative of root x. You should know the derivative of root x. It's really x to the 1/2, which power rule gives me 1 over root x. But since it was x to the 1/2, I need to have a 2 out front, because when I multiply the power out front. So that's the derivative, and I think that's part of the part that's complicated here, of that. Now I need to find the derivative of this whole thing. So I multiply by sine inverse's derivative is 1 over, so there's a formula for integrating and dealing with this. I'm gonna not use that formula just because that's the way it is. And instead I'm gonna just plug it in the most natural way, the way we've done all of these when we derive them. So anyway, 1 over root 1 minus, so I need to square, I feel like I'm constantly pointing at this thing. I need to square that thing. So maybe I'll show a little bit of work here. So I need to take root x over 4 and square it, which gives me root x squared, which is x, over 4 squared is 16. So what I get right here is minus x over 16. So that's kind of the long form of what the derivative is. I don't need to simplify it. What I really need, the whole reason I did that was so that I could find m at x equal to 4. So I'm going to plug in x equal to 4 right there and right there. So I get y prime of 4 equals 1/4. Just copying this. Now I got to copy this down there. Times 1 over 2 root 4 times 1 over root 1 minus, alright, so I'm not going to show this. I am plugging in 4 to this, which gives me 1/4. It's 4 over 16. simplify to 1/4. Minus 1/4. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And I'll come back up later. So I need to simplify this as much as I can. So I get this is equal to 1/4. This is 2 times root 4, which is 2 times 4. So I get times another 1/4 times 1/, so 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. So this is really square root of 3/4. Now, lots of ways to go about this. And the reason why I would actually go all the way out like this and not just write it as like an unsimplified version is because I think that this would probably be a multiple choice question. You might see it on an FRQ. I don't know. It could be like a 2-point FRQ question. Anyway, so I'm going to continue to multiply out. I'm going to do two things in this next step. I'm going to say that this is 1/16, and this is times 1/. You should know that I can take square root of 20 and write it as root. So this is to show you why I can do what I'm about to do to simplify that. You should know that root 20 is the same as root 4 times 5. And then I can pull this out and turn it into a 2√5. So that's what I'm going to do here with this 3/4. I'm going to pull the 4 out of the root and turn it into a 2. But it's over 4, so it's going to be over 2. So I'm going to have root 3/2. That is sort of maybe the most complicated step if you were trying to be super precise about this. How do I divide by a fraction? So, how do I divide by a fraction? I multiply by the reciprocal. So this is the same as saying 1/16 times 2/√3, which is equal to, maybe I'll come up here, 1/8√3, but I can't have a root in the bottom, so I need to put the root in the top, so I need to rationalize this. So I'm going to multiply by root 3/√3, which gives me root 3/8 times 3, which is finally root 3/24. So this is my M. Oh my gosh. Let me see if this will work. Woo, yeah. So, all that work to find M is, I'm going to rewrite it, that thing. So, my final answer, I need to take this thing and plug in these three values. So I get y minus, oh my gosh, what's y? Y minus pi/6 equals m, which is all that work to get root 3/24 times x minus 4. I really hope I did that right, because I do not want to do that video again. Is it right? Y minus pi/6. Yep. Good to go.